Yeah. Cool. Any other thoughts or comments? Yep.
I personally think you can like understand what's happening throughout the shot. Because like it's supposed to be like, oh, they're moving super fast, but they're snails and slow. So like they're moving like in reality super slow.
Mm-hmm.
And there's like the text down there to like tell you that. I do think that that the environment it's in, like it's still like unfinished.
Mm-hmm.
So like it like cuts it off a bit. But I do really love the movement of the snails. It feels really natural and like really smooth.
Yeah. Cool. Any other thoughts? Yeah. So I definitely agree. I think if anything gets done to this, I'd probably throw some textures and stuff on things, and then also just like watch the ground plane, which I feel like is just sort of my standard comment that I give a lot. But I think the models for the actual creatures look really, really nice. It seems like the snail was sort of made in a way where it looks like it has good topology, and I can attest that shells are kind of a pain to model, and it seems like the spiral and stuff like that was done pretty nicely on this one. Also, like, I never imagined the movement of the snail and the slug, to me, looks like they're trying to gallop in a weird way, which I find bizarrely satisfying. But yeah, like, cute intro, like it was said. I do like the text. I feel like it might be a little weird. Like, I think when you're looking at the slug, you see the snail text, like, fly across the screen, and then at some point you see text fly off the top of the screen, which is kind of strange. Oh, I see that was a versus. Okay, that moves maybe a little too fast, or is like, was hard. I didn't notice what it was. I thought it was actually like the snail's logo, but yeah. And I think the only other thing that I maybe would look at is that the camera movement when you're going on to the slug at the very beginning, that's very satisfying. Like, where it kind of like whips over and then like comes back to the slug. I almost feel like it could maybe just like do like a panning shot or something across the two. Like, imagine something like Mario Kart or whatever, where they sort of pan across all the contestants and then like focus in on whichever one you're playing. I feel like two separate camera moves there might also work possibly a little bit better. I really want to see these guys like textured and slimy. Like, that would just look super cool. But yeah, cool. I think overall, it's quite nicely done. And then yeah, all the movement of the slugs and stuff looks pretty sweet. Cool. Last thoughts and comments on this one? All right. All right. Any thoughts and comments on this? Anyone? Yeah. I do like that they took, I was sort of expecting them to just like run by the books or like jump over the books, but instead they like really committed to that pile of books as part of the path, which, I don't know, I appreciate that. I was like, obviously a little bit more work and stuff to make them go up and then like try to roll them down and stuff. But I think it's kind of like nice. Yeah. Anyone else? Cool. I definitely think there was a lot of good work on this done with either rigs or bend deformers to make these guys sort of gooey, but it seems like their motion is pretty good. That like weird jump with the pen, you almost like, or the pencil at the end, he almost goes to like an elastic feeling, but it's like oddly satisfying the way he just sort of like flips himself over like that. I think if I were to go back and like maybe look at any of this, there's right in the beginning, right here, that pen like twists on itself, where it like kind of goes down to like nothingness at a point. So that's something I might look at, and then also might look at as the pen is rolling down the book, it at the end actually clips very, very slightly through the book, but also it's not actually rolling. It just sort of slides down. And I feel like if it would be good to get, because if you've ever sort of rolled pens like this with a cap down on a curved surface, that cap sort of like flips them around. I feel like that could be sort of the thing that slows the pen down, is the fact that it's trying to roll to be clever, but its cap actually slows it down. So if you had that sort of motion in there of the cap like flipping it around or maybe sending it slightly off course, I think that would sort of help sell, I guess, the physics a little bit of this. But yeah, cup looks nice. Any other thoughts and comments on this one?
In the beginning,
Yeah.
I don't know if this was mentioned, but like when the pen, like the pen that's shearing, like twists, it like twists in on itself.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
I think they're adorable. They're super cute. I just also think the lighting could be a little bit brighter. Or maybe that's just the projector. And also, it would be super cute if we continue to see like that pencil and that continue to cheer on for them. But overall, I think the textures look nice, and also the movement is like super cute.
Yeah. That is actually a good point. I do like the suggestion, like at the end, have the little cup, pen, and pencil be like, yeah, come on, and like have them, keep up that rah sort of thing. Yeah, fair point. It does show up a little bit better on the computer. Yeah, the projectors are always like super wonky in terms of color stuff, but yeah. Cool. Anyone else? All right. Whoa. Oh my God. All right, any thoughts and comments on this one? All right, I'm just gonna throw out there, all the lighting and texturing looks super nice in this. Yeah, I'm definitely a fan of like the light rays coming through the window, and the milk bottle also looks really nice. Also, like, I think the sort of strange little gang of Cheerios around the bowl is quite funny. I like how they like roll around in a very charming way, and then like the way they pile onto each other, tip the banana over, and then they fall, but the way they fall feels really nice. I keep thinking the blue thing is like part of a hamster wheel, which is weird. I assume it's just a bowl, and my brain is insane, but.
It's like the milk.
It's what?
It's like the milk cap. It was like.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. I think the reason I was thinking, that does make more sense. I think the reason I was thinking bowl is because it feels, to be fair, I don't usually put Cheerios on top of the milk cap, but it feels a little big to me.
I like measured it with milk.
Okay, yeah.
So.
That's probably just me never paying attention to what size a milk cap is in relation to a cereal bowl, or a cereal. Fair point. But yeah. No, I think like overall this looks really, really nice. It seems like the secondary motion is reasonable. I like when the banana hits the spoon, that it does the thing where it like snaps down and then it sort of pops back up again and then is resting on the spoon bit. That seems pretty realistic. Yeah, nice. The beauty of reference. Yeah, I think if you were to do anything with this in the future, I might look at there's like right at the beginning, you can see like these guys are moving, but the little 3 bowl Cheerios aren't. So if they were like maybe doing something like super minor, I think that would help. And then you might also consider, just like for dinguses like me who can't recognize a milk cap, if you maybe put like a cow or something on the cap, or like wrote milk on it, then it would just be like really obvious what that was. But again, that could just be me. I'm also not used to that type of milk cap.
I used to have them when I was like younger. So
Okay, gotcha.
they come with the glass ones.
Okay. That makes sense. I've never actually gotten glass bottles before, so I have like no idea.
There's like milk farms all over where I live. So.
Gotcha. Nice. Gotcha. But yeah. Cool. Any other thoughts and comments on this? Yep.
That was on my box. It was like handmade. Well, it's like an actual Cheerio. I didn't use that as like juice, and then I just did like
Nice. Yeah. As a random tidbit, completely unrelated to any of the animations, I've figured out some good weird workarounds if you're sculpting like high poly sculpts in ZBrush to reduce them pretty aggressively so they would actually be usable in Maya depending on how detailed it is. And it triangulates your mesh, but if you ever are just like having issues with a displacement map, I could show you guys how to do that if that's something that you guys would be interested in. I don't know. The more I work with ZBrush, the more I'm like, holy crap, this is an absurdly powerful program. But yeah, any other thoughts and comments related to this? All right. Fluids. Cool. Oh wait, this is, nice. Yes. Yep. The quality of reference content. Crap. All right. Any thoughts and comments on this?
disclaimer that is like sound on it, like yeah. I don't know if that works, and also like kind of loud.
Oh my gosh. The sound makes everything better. Okay, so any thoughts and comments on this? Yeah. Anyone else? I do. Yeah. Fair point. It looks like I can't tell if it's just like the texturing of them being super uniform or like random other tidbits. I do like there's like stuff populating the counter, like the little sponge and like the outlets and the plates and stuff like that. Nice to have a really big, the evil part of me wants us to be falling into a thing of peeled potatoes. Yeah, I think like overall, it's definitely like obvious what what's happening. I think for me, the two sort of which I think honestly would be like that's animated. And then I think that the squash scratch on the carrot feels a little I do like how he's trying to like sort of push the table, like that's actually as well. I feel like at the beginning, maybe like a slight bend before her would be more. Not really natural, but like maybe it would somehow feel a little bit more organic and less scaled down, if that makes sense. Definitely and I assume that part of it was due to the what am I saying? The lamp requirement for this. But I was gonna say they all started with like the potato was like really just hanging out there for a while. But again, I think that's sort of like weird thing. Any other thoughts or comments? I assume that's reference. These dudes. Cool. Cool. Any thoughts and comments on this one? Yep.
I really like the weight of when the blue one like falls on the turtle.
Yeah. Yeah, that definitely does have a nice feel to it. I also like how it looks like right at the beginning they do a little sort of like handshake or like, hey, kind of thing with each other. It's cute. Anyone else?
The secondary motion of the
Yeah.
Reminds me of like the memes.
Yeah. Most definitely.
I think the only thing is that they're too like whatchamacallit? Like the thing that they jump over, like they're
Hurdles?
floating.
They are floating a little bit.
I don't know if like that's supposed to go with the other floating aesthetic, like the floating aesthetic. But also like when people run, I don't know if this is just like another thing to put in, even though it's very stylistic and very perfect, is that like when people like run, their hands when they go back like linger a little bit, like a little more than you think they would. So a chance maybe for each swing, just going in the dope editor, the dope sheet editor, and just having it hang for a little bit more for each of the as they swing back to run. So other than that, I think it's like it's super cute. And also I also question the textures because it kind of looks like they're in like a mountain cave. They look like they're racing in a mountain cave. If possible, like it would make sense that like kind of looks like a tennis court maybe, or perhaps in another environment, but like in a cave in the mountains where you have you find these track equipment. Kind of feels a little bit off, but other than that, I think it's super cute and very fun.
Fair points. Any other thoughts?
it could be a gym with like weird ball, but one thing that gets me is that wait, I don't know what to say, but the ground head against the gray wall is kinda like no contrast, so if there's a way to like light it or make it pop out, that would be nice
Yeah. That's a fair point. I feel like you could almost swap their head textures so you had the lighter one against the stone. But then this one might blend in with the red.
I like that.
Yeah. Any other thoughts, comments?
I like character and well, a lot of the what you use the models to have like a lot of characters people you know in the animation. I kind of read the environment as them being tiny and they're like in a weird corner of like a walled garden.
Mm.
Like I feel like the hard edge the walls would cover it up with like little tufts of grass and
Yeah. Yeah, that's definitely a solid suggestion for the texture, and just like cover. Yeah, I do like covering that hard edge with like some little grass tufts. You could also even use some poly paint vines and like paint little vines up this if you want it to be sort of like overgrown.
One thing I noticed was that after the blue red balls really don't anymore, it almost looks like he's dragging himself.
Huh.
There was something I didn't notice at first, but after it's kind of frustrating.
Yeah, he does get up like a little bit slowly. Is that like what you were talking about?
No, because like normally they're not touching the ground at all, but
Oh.
after he gets up, he's touching the ground. He's like dragging himself.
Gotcha. Oh yeah. Weird. Yeah, also potentially something to look into. Actually, on a similar note, so like, I could buy the like everything is sort of floating aesthetic if, I feel like for the hurdles, I feel like that's sort of broken by the fact that when this one's knocked over, it's then also sitting perfectly flush on the ground. So I don't know. I feel like it would make sense just like put the hurdles on the ground and like have little dudes floating, because I feel like they're so stylized you can get away with it, but like the hurdles feel a little bit strange. Just my 2 cents. And cool. Any other thoughts, comments? All right. Yeah, so I pretty much agree with like most of the stuff you guys said, I think. I'd also, yeah, so I think if anything was done to this, it would be nice to like spruce up the background a little bit. Also, for this one in particular, but just in general, watch out for grass textures like this. It's really hard if you find like a really aggressive grass texture and you're going to be this close to it. It seems to be hard to find one that's, for one, high res enough, but also adding any kind of like bump map or anything like that tends to look a little bit sort of strange because grass is like such an aggressive, sticky, uppy texture that just applying it to a flat plane usually kind of looks a little weird. So there's perhaps maybe some other type of background or something, or like way that could be handled where it would look a little bit more successful. Also just like watch resolution and textures in general. And then, so I can't speak to the thing Annie was saying about like how the arms move when running, because I don't really run that much or watch people run. But it does seem, I was going to say, so like the motion of the hands and the body feel like they're kind of out of sync, where like the hands are going really, really fast back and forth, and then the body is just sort of like slowly moving back and forth at a sort of separate pace, if that makes sense. So that's potentially something that that I would look at with this. But yeah, I mean, I think definitely in terms of character and cuteness, you definitely got that bit down pretty well. Also, just like at the end, for some reason, when I watched this, I really expected the one guy to like punch the other one in the face instead of shake his hand. I was like, wow, oh, it's like, oh, someone's gonna get punched. And I'm like, oh no, they took the diplomatic route. But anyway, yeah, cool stuff. Last thoughts, comments? All right. Ooh. What? Are they? What? All right. Any thoughts and comments on this one? What are these?
Geometric blobs.
What?
No, not so specific.
Okay. I thought they were like. At first, I thought they were living bricks, and then I thought they were slugs, and then I thought they were like living bars of gold and silver.
There's almost that I started I did a video of slugs racing.
Yeah.
I was like, how am I just do a cube? And then yeah, that's how it came up. It's pretty cute. And then
I mean, you definitely gave the weird little slug dude some nice motion. Like this guy has a very satisfying floppy feel, and the way he.
I remember I had to do that on the table. When I was in the lab. I was like, yep, that's all I need.
Nice. I remember at one point for our motion capture project, I ended up doing the worm for motion capture, and I lost the data, but I don't know, it just sort of reminded me of that. But yeah, I mean, like that for a cube with some eyeballs, like that has a lot of personality and motion to it. I kind of wish it was more representative of something. Just I feel like everything else is, and like like the motion reads as a slug, and I kind of just like want it to be a slug, or have everything else in that style where it's like sort of rounded, shiny Minecraft. I'm digging on the heads. They're ridiculously creepy, but also cool. All right, cool. Anyone else have any thoughts? Yep.
I really like that drift. That drift just feels really smooth and wavy.
With the black car around the corner?
The yellow car.
Okay.
Yeah. And I guess the only thing I wish was conveyed more was like that the yellow car was getting hit off the road, sort of, and like then hitting the slope. But I don't know. I imagined it was gonna crash, but then it didn't crash. I wonder if it's crashed.
Yeah, I feel like that's a fair point. I do feel like there could be some more, because I actually just sort of interpreted it as like the yellow car drifting away from the black car so he didn't get hit. But yeah, I feel like if that is a hit, it might be nice to get a little bit of like tilt or something to the car, or like a jitter where it like feels more impactful. And then that would also, for some reason I like didn't notice that it went onto the sidewalk, and that's where the little slug dudes were. I thought they were just like in the road. But yeah, I feel like that idea could maybe be sold a little bit more.
Maybe if the black car like kind of wanted to like went left a little bit more and then went right quickly.
Yeah.
So that it would,
Yeah, I think that would definitely help. Yeah, some combination of like making the yellow car jerk more, and then yeah, like the other one being like, I'm really just gonna commit to ramming the crap out of you. Cool.
This is something I don't know if you can like control or if it's some weird setting, but in this later clip where it shows kind of in front of the yellow car, right here, you can see the road like generating. It looks odd. Like, I've never like, it's probably something we
I didn't
probably
even see
but
that,
like
but,
I've never seen that before.
yeah, I did. No. I basically duplicated the roads and everything, and then I loop it so like it goes that much, and then every 125
But like why would it render like that?
Hmm?
Why would it render like that?
So it goes forward and it jumps back to its origin.
Okay.
So it basically just like
Oh, you were literally just shifting the road around?
I shifted the car back, so it's like it goes forward 125 centimeters, and then it just like start over.
Oh, okay. So it's actually just running repeatedly on the same stretch of road.
Yeah.
Weird.
And then I grouped the other car and have the group move forward. So
Gotcha.
the picture is actually moving.
Out of
The road should, like jump down. That's
out of curiosity, why did you do that instead of just like making a whole road?
What do you mean?
Like, I mean, to me it seems like it would have been easier to just like model the full track of road and like move the
I
car.
did that for this part.
Right.
But like for the part that's like continuous,
Yeah.
I wanted the wall and the
It seems like way more effort the way you did it.
I only did it for, I started with a wall and pavement on the side, so like that's why I needed to move it, because the pavement is like individual blocks, so like that's
Okay.
the main part that I did that, and then I was like, let me do this for the rest too, so everything is like kind of the same thing, but I didn't go all the way and edit this.
Gotcha.
Quite a big thing.
Interesting. I will say if so, I guess this is just supposed to be curved sidewalk, like on the inside of that curve. Wait, just wait for it. Right here. Yeah, I think for that I might go through and clean that up. That to me I think is one of the stranger things in like the texturing itself. It also seems like it still might have just sort of been easier to do something for your sidewalk like the non-auto creation. Just like do some really sort of silly thing like this, where if you grab all these faces and extrude them and then turn off keep faces together and just like push them up and scale them down ever so slightly, it would give you like perfectly even sidewalk creases. So that might have yeah. But yeah, like there's like a bunch of different weird sort of tips and tricks for like, but I mean honestly that's like mostly the extrude tool. I showed this to the people that I taught last quarter, but there's like a weird, super easy way with mesh and extruded curves to make like twisted cord like rope or like barbed wire. If that's stuff y'all are interested in, we can also go over that at some point, because it's just sort of like, I feel like fun ways to easily do things. But yeah, so something like that may have worked for the sidewalk. And then, actually, just because I'm now oddly curious about generating sidewalks for some reason, because it looked like you had two tracks, so you could sort of do a thing like this, and then just like, it's not super pretty, but I don't know, it kind of works for if you needed like the offset paths. I don't know. Anywho, so yeah, that's my thought on just like environment creation. This guy looks like he's wearing a tire, but I kind of like it. Cool. Any other thoughts and comments on this?
When he goes a little to the curve, one thing that might make that read a little better is actually how we kind of like bump up, because when you try to bump the curve, it's like really hit it, and you know, that might help it read better versus that.
Yeah. I also think it'd be kind of cool to get some like head motion in the guys. Like you could also maybe also rotate the wheels slightly faster. But like if the guy, so I'm thinking like as the black car hits the yellow car, the guy in the yellow car, like his head could be like and sort of like jerk with that impact. That would also help sell that as well. But this would be really funny to just like, and again, this is just like stretch goals if you're doing anything with this in the future. Add like a little blend shape to the guy's mouth and just have him be like, hey, 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 like when he smashes into the other guy, like would be really funny. Yeah. Fair enough. Cool. Last call for thoughts and comments? All right. In that case, I think that was like the shortest crit ever. So thank you for all of you guys who have submitted stuff by today. You will get a small bonus on the assignment for getting things in early. And otherwise, I'll change the due date to Thursday and we'll update anything that's marked late that shouldn't be marked late. But this is due on Thursday. So.